Hey, property management friends. Welcome to This Week in Property Management. I'm your host, Jeremy Pound from RentScale. We're freshly back from what I think is the biggest week in property management. We are all in Austin for both Sales Mastery and LeadSimple University. Now, we've got the guests from both of those events to share some of our highlights for you. And we've also got the November Business Development Scoreboard for you. And we're really going to recap everything that's been happening both last week in Austin and in the industry in the last month. But while we wait for more friends to join us live, here's a recent highlight from a previous live show.
If I'm hiring a property manager and they're taking this proactive approach, I'm getting quarterly calls with the owner of the company, getting macro, micro updates. We've got guest speaker. All of that kind of encapsulates an owner experience. And our world, in the property management space, that's what owners are demanding now. It's not just the same old, I signed up for property management service. They're going to collect rent, do the maintenance, and simplifying it. You're taking things to another level. And I can't imagine what you have planned for in the future. If you're at 211 doors doing all of these things at a very high level, what that's going to look like. But I think ultimately what you're doing is being a champion for the owner. You're not necessarily waiving application fees. They're getting a credit as part of their move-in funds, but that differentiates the property from all of the other ones that are out there in the market. So it's just taking those proactive steps. And right now that's our curveball, is longer days on market. But next year it could be something totally different. And if you're thinking ahead and communicating with your owners, that's something that's going to tee you up for long-term success as well as them.
So be sure that you're subscribed to us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, or X so that you can watch these industry episodes live, be the first to hear about what's new and trending, and participate with the live chat. So we'd love to hear from you guys in the live chat. We've got two special guests here. I've got Reese Register from the RentScale team talking about what he learned at Sales Mastery. And I've got Brent Erdy here from LeadSimple talking about what we learned at LeadSimple University. Last week was fun and exciting. I think that the week we had in Austin just really embodies the future of property management. These events are different from NARPM events. Not that we don't love NARPM events, because we absolutely do, but they're different because these are professionally curated and they include product announcements and they include professional speakers and just a little bit more of a higher level of planning, in my opinion. So I'm excited to share all of the news that we had. And by the way, I'm different in costume today. I'm wearing the Sales Mastery shirt that we gave out last week, talking about cash flow, appreciation, and tax benefits. And if we see you at a future NARPM event, ask for one of these shirts. We will have them. They just won't have this great Sales Mastery Austin 2024, because we're saving those just for the attendees that actually made it. But we'll give you a version of these, which I think are great. And we designed these for you guys to be wearing when you're out doing your weekend shopping or errands, so that people ask you, because it is a little bit of a dog whistle that you are involved in property management or real estate investing. And that's why we designed these. And so I think they're going to be a fantastic hit. So I'm excited to share all of the things that I learned in Austin last week, all the big announcements that you guys are dying to know, and the FOMO that you have if you weren't there. But first, I'd like to invite Jen on, because we've got our November scoreboard. It's our second to the last of the year. Got some big announcements. So Jen, show us the November scoreboard.
Hey everyone, back at you with another Scale Club scoreboard update, this time for the month of November 2024. And while I usually get to share a lot of green arrows and a lot of excitement with you, today's a different story. So we'll dive into the numbers in a minute, but we did just get back from Sales Mastery. I know Jeremy's talking about it on this episode a lot, but just to put in my 2 cents, we had the most amazing, most epic event. There have been a ton of photos released and so much great feedback for everything that this industry was able to absorb. And I am so excited for the energy going into 2025. So even though we've got lots of red today, we are back off of an awesome event, and I'm hoping that spurs some energy going into next year. Now, without further ado, let's share all the red that we've got for this scoreboard this month and unfortunately break our streak of tons and tons of green and lots of good news. So November was down almost across the board. We've got one green arrow here that you will see for Augusta, Georgia, and she is still on fire. And she was also at Sales Mastery, but absolutely crushing it. You will see that BDMs this month were 55% to gold. That's the lowest that we've seen since we started the scoreboard. Leads were down to 18, which was about 20% lower than they were in October. And you guys, average number of doors added across our entire community was 6, down 40%. Another record setter. Not the right kind of record we want to set, but still, this is the data and these are the numbers. 10 is the top 50%. 10 doors is the top 50% of our community, also down about 50%. So total number of doors for November was 244 compared to over 500 for last month. So as you guys can see, huge decline. However, I want to take a second because there is a few bright spots on this board. We've got some leaders who have never been on the leaderboard before. And although overall the community is down, we still have some people who are elevating and crushing it. Lancaster, PA at 24 doors, Chicago, Illinois at 17, Augusta, Georgia at 15, Milwaukee, Wisconsin at 13, and Memphis, Tennessee at 11. So those BDMs, every BDM is still working hard, but I think we've all seen that November slowdown hit us. So what are we doing about it? What's going on in Scale Club and how are we working through it? Well, we have definitely leveraged the fact that leads were down, and we actually have worked in our community to build pipelines up for November. So even though we typically see this slowdown in November and December, I'm actually looking at December thinking it's probably going to shake out better than November has. And a lot of our BDMs are highly, highly focused and concentrated on making sure that they're meeting their year-end goals. So as we wrap up the year, I'm really excited to see where things land and how many of our clients meet their forecasted growth goals. In Scale Club, we are busy creating annual forecasts for the companies that are with us and working through to make sure we're setting proper goals for 2025. And we're working to make sure we understand what we got to put into the top of that funnel to get these numbers out the bottom. So despite a lower month, somewhat expected, but at the same time, we are working through that, working through conversion ratios. We've seen an uptick in practice, and these BDMs are really committed to hitting their year-end goals. So I can't wait to come back with you in December and talk a little bit about how they've all achieved that. Well, that's it for me. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jen. Lots to consider there. I appreciate all the information. In case you guys don't know, we publish this scoreboard not only here on This Week in PM, but it's actually on our website. If you go to renscale.com/scoreboard, we now have about 15 months of data that we're collecting. So you can actually see the trends as we go from each month. We do believe this is the largest community of property management sales professionals in North America. And we love sharing these stats with you. I know Peter Lohman is releasing a newsletter tomorrow, and he reached out to me and he said, hey, I feel like our lead volume is down. I want to know what the industry is seeing. And I said, I gotcha. Go to renscale.com/scoreboard, look at the numbers. He was very excited about that. And he's going to be sharing his experience and overlapping it with the data as well. So thanks, Jen, for collecting all this information and sharing it. I'm excited to bring Bryn and Reese on, but first, just want to hear a quick word from one of our sponsors.
Hi there. Did you know that RentScale hosts one of the largest communities of property management sales professionals in North America? Well, my name is Reese Register, and I'm actually a previous BDM and currently a scale coach here at RentScale. We provide over 20 hours monthly of teaching and training and accountability to make sure that our BDMs are supercharging their sales business through inbound, outbound, and allbound. So if you're interested in learning more about supercharging your business, go over to rentscale.com. We'll be glad to schedule a consult and see how we can help you transform your business today.
All right, guys, let's talk about last week. It was an amazing time. I'm excited to invite Reese and Bryn to join me. I don't know about you guys. Maybe it wasn't as bad for you, but I don't think I slept at all last week before the events. But have you guys recovered yet?
I'm still recovering. Papa did not get enough sleep yet.
I'm recovering as well. I actually lost my voice for a minute there at the tail end. So my voice is still coming back and it's in the process.
Was a lot of work. I will say this for anybody listening. The three of us on this call, plus countless others, I know put in a ton of work, not just last week, but in the months leading up to that event. We were all talking, we were communicating, we were all freaking out, we were all sharing in the fear of it not coming off great. But this is what we do for you guys. We do this, and it's all worth it, because when I look back on last week, going to both of the events, it was totally worth it. It was amazing. So, Bren, I want to start with you. You were largely responsible for LeadSimple University. I know you can't take all the credit for it, but I also know that you were a commander in chief that was making a lot of that work. So what was your exact role? How would you explain it to everybody, just for context on your involvement in planning LeadSimple University?
Yeah, absolutely. So you are exactly right. I did not do it alone. It was certainly a team effort. I was the champion, you could say that, for LeadSimple University, and ensuring that, executing against the tasks to ensure that we had the event come together on site, bring the team together, coordinate on site, kind of MC or master of ceremonies, was kicked around at one point, but I was there to make sure that our guests had a great time. That was my role.
I think you did a good job. So there's about 200 of us, right? What was it called? It was called Brazos Hall. Is that what the name of
Brazos Hall, and we were actually closer to 250. So yeah, so it was awesome to have almost 250 of my besties all in Brazos Hall.
It was great. I had a great time. I know Jen and I got to speak day one. We didn't get to go to the whole event because we had to get ready for our own event, but we were a big part of it. We participated. Some of my team came in the rest of the week, and we were just blown away. Hospitality, fun, party. That was all the words that I would use to describe it. So why don't you share with the guests kind of like what the theme was like at the event? Why do you host LeadSimple University, and what can people expect to get out of the event in case somebody is watching this and they haven't been?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so glad you guys were there. Rent Scale, thank you guys for actually helping sponsor the event. We're super grateful that we can partner up with you guys on fun things like LSU. So the theme of last week, well, really, it's about getting everybody together in one room and not just one category, right? We want to get people together and talk about, sure, current state, but also look ahead to the future. So what's getting us excited? What's getting the guests excited? We want our users to feel like they can connect with us face to face and tell us what they want and what they need, and what they're really excited about. So it is about community, bringing everybody together, and it's about, really bear hugging what we're up to now, and ensuring that we're on the right track, and keeping everybody, on the right track for the year to come, and stay super ahead of the game, right? We want to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that we are on track for our users. So positive, energetic, excited for future, community. Those are some words that come to mind for theme.
Yeah, that is a great representation of that. It was a lot of fun. It was a blend of, learning and deep education, and it was a blend of fun and high-fiving and partying, which I got to be a part of both of those things, which was a lot of fun. What did people tell you were their biggest aha moments? What did you talked to everybody. What did people show it through the lens of the eyes of the audience? What were they telling you that they most appreciated about the event?
Yes. So I've certainly heard a lot of feedback, and same with my team that was there, and we're collecting more. I'm going to send out a survey because I want to learn more about what those aha moments were on site. Some big ones that stood out were really wrapped around data and measuring and making sure that we're making data-driven decisions as we move forward, right? That performance management is so key for the future of property management. So there were aha moments around the data component. That was helped, in part by, right, the PM Trends report that was launched, announced on site. We were able to actually live stream that out we had over 800 people register for that. So we know that data and understanding kind of where we're at as an industry, to make sure that we can, figure out a way to impact the future together through that data. Those are big aha moments, the operational performance NOI. Some other aha moments came through workshop times. So really connecting with our product team that was on site. Our SVP of product development, Chris Wynn, was there. There were aha moments through the product. And then we actually had teammates. We met with every unique company that was on site at the event. So there was a 30-minute one-on-one. And the aha moments that came up out of that were, wide ranging. Everything from, oh my goodness, this is unlocked, an opportunity in my business that, I was really struggling to understand this one key feature, to, oh my goodness, I actually need to go back to the drawing board with my SOPs or my process and really dig in there. So lots of aha moments is related to data, measurement, the future of the industry, the product itself, and making sure that they feel supported. So lots of good aha moments. We're really, really pumped about it. And we also learned a lot as well. Feedback is something we welcome. So we also had aha moments on our side that we took away for, future feature enhancements, things of that nature.
Yeah, I did find it was a really collaborative atmosphere, right? Where people were giving you their feedback and participation. And the energy was amazing. I mean, everybody was very engaged. You could just see it in the room. I had the fortune of being on the stage and looking out, and people were engaged. They were excited to be there, which was amazing. And I think that's why we have these events. And that's why I said it's a really special week when we do this together. Now, you did mention the study. I want to give you just a minute to talk about that, because that was a big deal. I was excited about that. We involved that in our talk at LSU.
Great.
We also involved that in our talk at Sales Mastery, because we thought that was fantastic data. So walk through what you meant by the survey and how people can get that, because I think that is super important for everybody listening.
Yes, absolutely. The PM Trends Report, super meaty. There's a lot of data packed into that. And that was a big effort from Jordan Wela, our CEO and co-founder, as well as Peter Lohman, co-founder of Crane. And he also, of course, owns and operates RL Property Management. So both sides. But I shout them out because they really did spearhead this PM Trends report that was put together. And really, it was just to see, we're learning so much about where we're at as an industry and what the growth of the industry looks like. And the data is really what's going to help inform us of where we go from here. So that PM Trends report, super awesome. It was also awesome to have Dave Borden from Rentvine and Kent Nielsen from Renters Warehouse up on stage for that as well. But we do have physical copies that were, sent home with our attendees. Don't worry, we have digital as well. So I've sent that out already to our guests that were there. That's going to live on our website. So it will be accessible to anyone and everyone. We definitely want that PM Trends report out there for people to really take in. And, there are some interesting pieces of data in there that can really help shape what 2025 and beyond looks like.
All right, I gotta say, you're being way too high level from what I saw. What are like? Let's just share a couple questions. Like, there were some juicy questions in there. Like, why did you discontinue using a professional property manager? Why do you not work with a manager? Right? Like, give us just 2 or 3 of these juicy things that are in this report. That's right. You're not doing it the service it deserves, Ben. Like there's amazing questions in there from our target audience.
There really are. And I have it actually pulled up right in front of me because I don't want to get these wrong here. So let me see if I can't come up with some good key tidbits.
Tease us, because when you actually hear the questions you guys ask, then people will really get excited.
Yes. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm scrolling through again. I'm sorry. I should have scrolled through.
The one I know that was in our presentation was, why did you discontinue using a professional property manager? And I remember some of the responses were they raised their prices. Leasing was longer than I expected. I mean, this was really juicy data. So just give us like 2. I don't want to I know I'm putting you on the spot, Brandon. I apologize.
Put me on the spot, Jeremy, but hey, that's why I had it pulled up just in case, because That is how we roll. So let's see, flipping through investors' top 5 2025 priorities, of course, increasing profit margins, upgrading the facilities of my rental property were the top 2 from that. We also looked at, let's see, perception of ability to handle day-to-day management. So currently it's good. Next 5 years is good, but we want to get that to very good. Biggest challenges, of course, maintenance and repairs is going to be top of that, managing maintenance and repairs. But let me see if I can't find one more specific benchmark I'm looking for, Jeremy. I don't know if you guys included it in your presentation at Sales Mastery, but there's one particular bit of data I'm trying to find.
Okay. These were great. That's why I want people to hear this, because they know what they're actually missing. People hear a data report, they don't get that excited. You start hearing the questions you ask, and people are said, I want to know what my clients said about that.
Mm-hmm. Some others, barriers to using a property manager. They're too expensive was number 1. Number 2, I want full control over my property. So that was a big one, because gosh, there's a lot in that 43% category right there. The third was increased maintenance costs. Why property owners switch or stop using property managers. Number 1, overall quality of service. We can certainly impact that. Taking more than 30 days to place a tenant, and financial concerns such as fee increases. So we can really impact all of these things, right? We just by knowing the information. What is the average number of weeks your rental property stays vacant after a tenant moves out? So we saw all the way up to 5 weeks. 5 weeks was one of the primarily, 2 weeks was the biggest category there, but all the way up to 5 weeks. Average number of weeks rental properties stay vacant after tenant moves out, like I said. So it's a long period of time. It's too long, and we can certainly impact that information. And then last but not least, nearly 1 in 3 investors prefer the flat fee model. So we're just learning a lot about, what folks are really after, what matters to them. So, and then some of this other stuff we can totally operationalize. It all comes down to performance management and operationalizing the business.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that. How can if the audience is hearing this and they're like, I didn't make it to LSU, how do I get this report? Where do they go?
Yes, absolutely. So this will live on our website. So we'll get it up on our website. It's not currently accessible by an easy link. We're giving some folks who had that early access a chance to digest before we get that out there. So keep a lookout. We will absolutely be announcing where they can locate that digital copy moving forward.
That's why you got to come to LSU and Sales Mastery Live, because you get all the information first, right?
Yes.
Great. And so somebody watching this months from now, they're going to go to LeadSimple. What is the name of the report? What are they looking for?
Yes, it's the PM Trends Report. So they'll look for that report specifically. I'm sure too, Peter Lohman will have this in his newsletter at some point. So we'll make sure that this is spread far and wide.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Just a couple more questions for you. Obviously, this is a user conference, which is unique about LSU. Tell us about the product upgrades. Unfortunately, Reese, myself, Jen, we were all locked in a Airbnb practicing for our big event on Friday. We missed the juiciest day after we got to participate because we had our own event. So we were stuck, sipping tequila and working hard, going over our presentations over and over again. You can just imagine what that looks like. But I heard that
it was a lot of fun.
last year. We'll invite you next time, Ben.
Perfect.
We heard that there is some amazing announcements. So what's on the horizon for LeadSimple in 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. And you did mention, by the way, that Wednesday is when that front half of the day, it was packed with data and product and benchmarking, right? That was on purpose. So we had the PM Trends report in the morning, really dove into that tech panel, followed by some PM operations standards deep dive with Brad Johnson at Profit Coach. So we did really pack our Wednesday. And then that was followed by Chris Wynn, our SVP of product development, as well as one of our senior product managers, senior product manager 2. Her name's Alexa. She also got up on stage and they just talked about the product. And that, I guess I shouldn't say just talked about the product. There's some exciting stuff, to your point, that came out of last week. One of them was an inbox beta. So we gave early inbox beta access to those that were on site. We really are looking at this as, next generation of the platform. And inbox is going to be a big part of that. So we gave early access. Don't worry. There will be a free trial in the new year. We'll be launching it soon after. So inbox, the evolution of that, which does include some LeadSimple AI components, which was really cool. Will also be in the new year, Q1, launching a Chrome extension. So really some strong feature enhancements to what's the current platform, but also this next gen platform, which is focused on really taking us to the next level as far as speed and efficiency for our users. So we were really able to deep dive into that as well. So I'll reiterate real fast, the next generation of inbox, or comms, some LeadSimple AI features that were mentioned, Chrome extension, and speed of the product itself, and where we go from here.
Amazing. Yeah, a lot of people have LeadSimple open all day. I mean, just the nature of speed is actually far more important than most of us are thinking. So I love that. All right. 2 more questions. What was your favorite part, Britton? Like you saw the whole thing together. If you were the MC, I will just say you were one of my favorite parts. You did a great job gluing the sessions together. It went from, product developments to like hardcore trainings and back and forth. And you always did a great job bringing it together. But what was your personal favorite part of the event?
Oh my gosh, community. I cannot even community. I love hanging out with our besties. Our users are our besties. And getting, so many of us in one room to geek out over technology and how that can improve and operationalize our businesses. I mean, that's my favorite part, was just the community, not only to just our users, but our users that were able to be on site, also having sponsors and speakers in the same room, and being able to really reach out to the users that were unable to join us in the home team that I've been referring to at LeadSimple, those teammates that were holding down the fort while we, 20 of us were on site last week. Gosh, it's just community. That is my favorite part. I love having fun with this particular crew. I love geeking out with folks that think about the technology the way that I do. So the community, I just can't emphasize it enough. It's so fun to dig in with our users. I just absolutely love it. Totally energizes me. If you can't tell, that's like how my battery fills up, is being with our users. So community all the way.
All right. I agree. It was a good time. I think we can say the same thing about our event. Okay. Last question. I mean, you come off this thing, it's a little bit like I've been told. Listen, I've never had my own baby, Bren, and I feel unqualified to say this, but people say it's a little bit like, once you have a baby, you're like, I'll never do that again. And then a year goes by and you're like, yeah, it wasn't so bad. We'll do that again. So you guys going to do this again?
Oh man, Jeremy, always love putting me on the spot, don't you?
I do.
So yes, last week was so amazing. We want to do this again. I already want to do this again. We are considering, though, what pushing into a different season of the year could look like, which means that this would likely push the event into 2026. Because I don't think if we push into early spring, I could pull that off in a couple of months. So it might be pushing into early 2026, but I will absolutely keep everybody up to date, and we will certainly make that announcement. And if you're, wanting to join some early comms on that and stay close to it, you can visit leadsimple.com/LSU and join our waitlist, and I can certainly keep you informed. But I'm ready. I am so ready. Gosh, last week just really pumped me up. So I'm not trying to be cryptic, but we haven't officially landed on a date. So I don't want to tell you time of year yet until that's firmed up.
I like it. I appreciate that. shout out to Madeline, who's on the call, live chatting, said favorite part of her week. It was amazing to see Madeline on stage. First time speaker who crushed it. I do want to say that. We absolutely loved her. Got a ton of good feedback from everybody. Was really proud of her. I appreciate that, Bren. Yeah, we're thinking about some different things too. You know, before we partnered with LSU, Sales Mastery was a 2-day event. It was actually a 1.5-day event, but that means 2 days. But then when you guys started going to Austin, we said, hey, those are our besties. We're going to go. We're going to join you guys. So yeah, we're rethinking what we're going to do next year. So we'll figure this out. But I think these are 2 of the best events in the industry, and I really appreciate you being here.
And I got to ask real fast, is that your dog in the background that I'm hearing that I would love to meet at some point?
Yes, that was my dogs. I know what happened. The UPS or FedEx guy just dropped a box off because I heard a clunk and then I heard the dogs go crazy.
Oh yeah,
so
that's Fitzgerald. Yeah, that's what Fitzgerald does too, my dog. So we'll have to chat about that at some point. But yes, absolutely agree. By the way, the 2 awesome events back to back in Austin. It was a big week. We were able to go to Sales Mastery as well. Eric Beckman and Jordan Whala were able to pop over there and said it was absolutely incredible. What a great way to wrap up an amazing week of learning and fun and community and education and all that great stuff. So thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on this today, and I can't wait to see where we go from here.
Yeah, me too. We're always a partner. Stick around. I'm going to invite Reese up to the stage, and I want to talk about the other event that happened last week in Austin in the Grueling Week, which was amazing, both grueling and fueling, in my opinion. Reese, so obviously, you know, you were a big part of Sales Mastery. You helped us do all this. How are you feeling a week later? What was your reflection on the crazy week in Austin last week?
It was definitely crazy, but again, don't want to relate it back to having a baby thing, but it's that exciting, like leading up to it and all the work that you put into it, and then it coming to life and seeing the smiles and seeing the energy when everybody leaves and the community coming together, to Bren's point, like everybody getting to see each other and hug and shake hands. It was super exciting and rewarding. And I'd be lying if I said I haven't looked at the pictures from the event over and over and over. And you kind of just relive those moments that were something special to you and to the people in the audience. So it was amazing.
Well, so Brent mentioned that, you know, Jordan and Eric came, and I was told by both of those guys that there was a specific energy to our event, which was very unique. So you were there, you were in the audience. I mean, obviously you were on the stage too. Well, how would you describe the energy at Sales Mastery? How would you encapsulate this event to somebody who's never been before?
So if I were to like put all of it in one word, it would be unexpected, honestly, because I felt like from the moment at check-in, if you weren't there, you didn't get to like feel all these surprises. But there was a surprise at check-in where it made it feel like very, very, we had security at check-in. They got, you know, magic wand as you walked in, ruby red carpet. Like it was a grand entrance. So I think everybody coming in at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, the mood was like, what am I walking into? And if you came to Sales Mastery last year, we made a lot of people sell ice cream on the streets of Austin. So you could see a little bit of nervousness from our returning guests coming in there. So started that way. And then when they walked in, there was actually a splash zone up front. So again, they've got that, oh my gosh, do I be bold and sit up front on the first row in the splash zone? Or do I take it a little bit more conservatively and go all the way to the back row? So you had this like energy built up of what to expect as I walk into this, especially if it's your first time. And I think the first part of our day, we just loaded everyone down with a lot of new concepts, a lot of lead gen ideas. So you were in that learning phase, had a great afternoon, and then we pumped up the energy at the end of the day, had a little M&M going and some on-stage coaching. So it was like a roller coaster of emotions and moods. So that's what I would really tie everything down to. It's just unexpected. Like it's not going to be sit down in the conference and we're going to give you all this information. People didn't know what was coming from segment to segment, which kept everybody super engaged so they could take away some really actionable items from each segment because they weren't fading. So that would be my word, unexpected.
I think that's a good one. There was definitely a lot of smiles and a lot of chaos that we inflicted on our audience in a good way, which I appreciate that. And I know, you are you're MC of our Scale Club community. You know our BDMs. You know a lot of our clients. You spend a lot of time with our clients. What were the aha moments? So, like, what did you hear from everybody? What did they learn from the event?
So the aha moment that just keeps coming back, I just wrapped up our last Scale Club of this week, was the Chat GPT and training Chat GPT, your AI technology, to think like you would, to speak like you would, and how to input all of that information. I know you had a very detailed segment on that, but I think most of our audience looked at AI as you get what you're given. So going into Chat GPT and asking a question and trying to deliver prompts was kind of the basic level of it, and pulling that up on your web browser. But I think you took that into a new depth that people didn't realize was actually available to them at this time. So I think it opened up a lot of our sales team, the BDMs in the room. I think it opened up their mind to how they can use AI, not to just replace the things that we're doing, but also enhance what they're doing to give them more time to sell. So I heard that over and over through Scale Club this week from those BDMs that joined us in Austin, that really sparked a major interest in using AI to make them a better salesperson, not just to eliminate some task-driven activities that they do day to day. So over and over, that's what come up this week. Even for me, like, I even learned some stuff from you that day. So, the evolution of AI and how it's going to impact the way we do business, I think that was the biggest aha from the day, and using it in sales.
I'm sorry, I just want to put my notes because you were there. I was busy. Who is the speaker that you're talking about? Who gave that presentation?
I believe it was the Pound Bot that actually gave that presentation.
That was great. Yes, we did label me the Pound Bot for that day, which was a lot of fun. And I appreciate that. And yes, I knew that was going to be a big hit going in, because we said to everybody coming to this conference, I sent you and Hannah to the Outbound conference. Jen and I went to a big real estate conference. I went to a big AI conference. The theme of the year was Rent Scale was out learning new things so that we could share it with you. And so I knew that was going to be a big deal, because I learned that at a conference and my mind was completely blown. And so it was so nice to be able to share so many of the ideas that we learned, right, at these conferences that we invested in, to our audience. But at the end of the day, Reese, I would say you were the hit. So people got really excited about the energy. At the end of the day, you got up there. It was super lively. We got people on stage. Walk us through what you learned at Outbound and what you shared with our audience, and what we did basically in the afternoon, because it was awesome. It was a huge hit.
Yeah, that was probably the funnest part of the entire day. But coming from Outbound, I just found this new mindset and new energy to go out and be a rainmaker, and not just be a rain barrel waiting on leads to fall in your lap and that phone to ring or somebody to put in their information on their website form. So I wanted to inspire our community to be rainmakers, to go out there and make deals come to them and be the dominant force, the dominant property management company in their specific market. So I brought all that energy back to Scale Club and then to Sales Mastery. At the end of the day, I had this really fun segment, and I did change some things live as it was going. We had queso in the afternoon, so I knew I had to come back with a spark. So I changed the music from our Rent Scale music that we've been using all day. Went to Jeremy. It was more like forgiveness than permission. I was like, "Hey, I think it's time to bump some Eminem in here," and he gave me the green light. Went over to our audiovisual team, and I was like, "All right, we got to liven these people up." We were heavy on the queso. So we bumped till I collapsed in there for like the first part of the song. And then we dove right into really a live interactive coaching session. A lot of the times, a lot of the coaching we do is behind the scenes. Like, people don't get to see that. People learning. So I got up there. We talked about the framework for how to pick up the phone and call somebody that you want to do business with, and getting comfortable with that. So I made some of our Scale Club Mastery members come up on stage first, and we put the framework on the side of the stage. We got one person on one side and another person on the other side of the stage, and they literally had to cold call and go through that framework right there in front of our live audience. Hope Shay's listening to this. So Shay was our top performer last year and this year. He actually got up there and struggled through it. So it was kind of fun to get there and show people that even if we're good, we're closing doors, we can always do more. There's some muscles that we need to flex all of the time, because growth doesn't have a finish line. It never ends. And I wanted everybody to see that. So I had a ton of fun bringing a lot of the BDMs that I coach on stage and show them how we navigate and get better right there in front of everybody's eyes. So it was a blast.
Yeah, you did great. People loved it. The people on stage loved it. Everybody said to me at the end of the day, wow, I learned so much being on that stage. I thought it was better than that, or it wasn't as hard as I thought it was. It was an experiential moment. Experiential moment is what I meant to say, which was really cool. And I appreciate you for doing it. It was absolutely fantastic. All right, so what were some of the big announcements or the things that RentScale said is coming? What were some of the new things that the audience heard about what RentScale is doing?
Yeah, so this entire year, Jeremy and I had been talking about how do we take clients that we already have and multiply the business that we get from them. So we had been brainstorming. Can't tell you how many hours of conversations we've had, how many back and forths, how many books that we brought into this idea that we wanted to create. So we finally got to it, and we've been working on it Jeremy's been working on it super hard the better half of the year. But the multiply product on how to take what clients you already have and get them to either buy more properties, go tell somebody else, just basically diving into the experience that they have, not the service, not the processes, but truly what experience are your clients getting from the time they make that phone call and they have an interaction with you through the first 100 days. There's some Easter eggs inside of there. I won't spoil that. If you want to learn about those, make sure you contact one of us here at RentScale. But there was a process that we put behind sales to elevate the experience. And the idea behind this, that I was living and breathing in the space when I was running a property management company, was if you treat your clients, they have a great experience, even when there's some mishaps, they're still going to be locked into you. I called it getting married versus dating us. They would stay with us for a lot longer period. And in property management, we make a little bit of money off a lot of doors. So why not keep those doors for a lot longer and have those people refer other properties to you? So we really focused on that. And we believe that it is going to increase your lifetime value of every single account that you have if you use this system the right way. And I think a lot of our owners that were there, as well as the BDMs, they have thought about this, they envision this, but to put an idea to paper and a process that could actually have a true impact on their business, to see it up on stage by the pound bot delivering it, I think that was one of the biggest announcements of the day. And I know there's a lot of buzz and excitement behind it.
Yeah, that was the overlap between both LSU and Sales Mastery. We shared that at both events, and I know it was well received. And it's one of those great concepts that in hindsight is just so obvious, but until somebody actually puts it in your mind to focus on it, you just take it for granted. So appreciate you bringing that up. All right, last question, Reese. You put a lot of work into last week. What was your favorite part?
Favorite part was just getting to meet a lot of these sales professionals and owners of property management companies that I see on a Zoom screen, just to get in the same space with them, different level of connection, realizing they're taller in person than they are on Zoom. That was a shocker. Shay almost hit his head on the air conditioning system from the roof. So just being able to have that human connection. And it's one of the principles, we talk about a lot at RentScale with our BDMs, is getting eyeball to eyeball, face to face, and it's going to increase that trust you have of potential prospects, which ultimately turns into business. But for us, it builds a deeper relationship and a different level that I'm able to coach our BDMs on. So being able to have those real human conversations in person, even for a short amount of time, I feel like it definitely put us in a better relationship as we move forward, so that we can continue the growth path that they're all on.
I love that both your and Bren's highlight of the event were the same. It's meeting all of our great customers, right? It is, we live in a world of Zoom calls and virtualness and meetings like this that we're doing right now, which are fantastic. And we're blessed to be able to do that. But when you really get, hand-to-hand combat in a room with people, and you're seeing everyone, and you guys are buying each other drinks, and you're having fun, and you're talking about, what's on your mind and your breakthroughs, it is amazing. I feel privileged to have both of you guys in my professional life. Thank you, Bren and Reese, for coming. You guys are amazing. I think that we always call LeadSimple our sister company. As you know, a lot of you guys know Jordan Mulela, founder of LeadSimple, helped me found RentScale. Our best clients use both of our services. We constantly collaborate, and I can just share that with you guys in the most sincere way, that both of these companies care so much about your business, and they're working so hard to create first-class experiences for you guys. And sometimes that's an event that we get together, and we all have great selfie moments and great photos. We share. We spend an entire year developing content so that we can share it with you guys, and that's why I love what you guys do, Bren at LeadSimple, and Reese. Thank you guys very much. Thank you to our guests today. And for all that came to the event, it was an amazing time, and I hope that we get to do some big stuff in the future. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for listening. We're going to wrap up with the event calendar because, if you're in our little bestie, champagne moment where we're excited to see you, we're going to have some more moments in 2025. So we're going to go through our 2025 calendar, but first, just a quick word from our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Strategic PM, the magazine for property management entrepreneurs and executives. If you go online to strategicpm.com today, you're going to find an entire website full of content written about your industry and by your peers. And it's completely free to sign up. Just go ahead and click on the create a free account right in the upper right-hand corner. When you click on that, not only can you create a digital account, but you can actually add your mailing address, and we will send you a free 1-year subscription of the print magazine, which will be showing up in your offices every single quarter. So if you take a look inside the magazine, what you're going to see is that we are focused on growth. We've got 5 pillars of Strategic PM: vision, strategy, culture, marketing, and experience. You're going to be seeing some great high-class content from some of the best thought leaders in the industry talking about the matters that matter the most to your business. So sign up for free today at strategicpm.com and look for the magazine in your office. All right, guys, we got 3 great events in the first quarter that I'm really excited about. I personally will be at all 3 of these events, which I'm really excited to meet you guys at. First, January 20th to the 23rd, we've got the PM Systems Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm actually headed out to Las Vegas next week for a business conference, again, to learn more things to share with you guys. I cannot believe that I'm going to Vegas 2 months in a row, but I am, not in a good way, because, I'm kind of over Vegas. But I'm excited to see you guys there. So we've got the PM Systems Conference in Las Vegas, Nevada, January 20th to 23rd. I believe we've got about 150 people coming to this event. Really excited. Jen and I will be speaking there. We'll be on a panel. I know Jordan from LeadSimple is definitely going to be there. I think he's hosting the panel. And we got a bunch of our other RentScale members coming. So hope to see you guys there. Really operationalize your business. Next up, it's NARPM conference season. First one on the books for us is in February, and it is the North Carolina State NARPM Conference. I love the people of North Carolina. They are fantastic. I've really enjoyed this conference many years in a row. This was the last conference I went to before the world shut down, before COVID. And I was just like, man, I love coming out and seeing my peeps and my friends. And then that got taken away from me for about a year. So February 26th and 27th, we'll be out in North Carolina at the State NARPM Conference. I believe it's in Raleigh. Don't quote me on that. Yes, it is, because I'm looking at the screen. So we'll see you in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is a great town, by the way. Great food and great people. And last but not least, in March, we've got the Broker Owner. This year it's in Colorado Springs, which I absolutely love. Fantastic town. Jen and I will be speaking at Broker Owner, talking about the first 100 days and multiplying your clients, turning every client into 3. Big theme for us this year. Hope to see you guys there. I think that Broker Owner is just an absolute must go to. Always great people, always great content. So I hope to see you there. So lots of other events I'm sure that we'll be announcing, but those are the main ones. And we'd love to see you guys. We'd love to meet you. Appreciate our guests coming on today. Appreciate Jen preparing that scorecard, putting everything together for us. But that's it for us this week. Thanks for joining in and learning about the latest tips and trends from the top residential property managers in North America. Please be sure to join us every time. We do this every other Thursday, so you don't miss your competitive advantage. Check out all the latest going on in property management and get details and show notes about today's show and guests. Just head over to strategicpm.com. That's strategicpm.com. Happy holidays, folks. And that's what's happening this week in property management.